the ninja truly being missing, and the world sort of not knowing that, and just thinking it's another day in Ninjago. What is going to happen with the ninja? Yesterday we got our final podcast for the Kriya and Labo Labo show. So, what did we learn? If you missed my video yesterday exploring what Kriya and Labo were talking about and what the sort of podcast this was them going to pretty much go to the monastery to see Mr. Frohiki and talk. Mr. Frohiki has been mentioned now twice in the podcast, but it hasn't been obviously explored or explained if he's out in public, which I don't think is truly the case. Anyhow, what has pretty much happened is Rapton has taken over the monastery, trying to pretty much open a case that he can't open, and he's going to take whatever's inside of it, try and do some stupid shit to open it, which is pretty dumb. Anyhow, he can't open it, but it begs the question. The last person in the monastery was Cole. And where are they? Like how Earth Ninja and the Finders have abandoned the monastery of Spinjitzu. But still begging the question, why? I don't think there is a good explanation why. I think Cole's best explanation why will obviously be explored in Season 4. And definitely has to. Which means, obviously, these events do have to take place unless Season 4 just straight out changes where Cole and the Finders go. They just quickly run off to the monastery. I feel like we need to see what happens with Geo. This is how I think it's going to go down. Either Cole has taken Geo, Mr. Frohiki, and all that far away from the monastery to keep them safe. Because realistically, they're in danger. The biggest hotspot there is right now is the monastery of Spinjitzu. It is the biggest target and the biggest unknown now defense. With only Cole being there, the Master of Earth, it leaves nothing on the tables, or it leaves literally only him on the table to take down Raz. And you do not want that in the midst. So, it'd be more interestingly enough if Cole's gone out there to go find help and put Rontu Geo in good care. Several places that do come to mind is back at the Land of Lost Things, or maybe where Rontu and Eagle trained. This could be another place. Also remember, there are a bunch of dragons still at the monastery. Heatwave is one, to name a few. I'm pretty sure Jiro should still be at the monastery. Yeah, so it's kind of like self-explained. Like, there's a lot of options and a lot of safe ways for the ninja to obviously rush off. Now, Rontu was probably definitely very injured, same with Chio, so it might be a good thing to take them to the Cloud Kingdom, which is another place where I think as Euphrasia will play a huge role. If Cole, Zane, and Euphrasia can team up, it'd be pretty good to sort of get that lift up with 2 extra elemental masters with Cole, just in case Raz does come to defense. It would make sense why the monastery of Spinjitzu is abandoned. The moment Zane is off-world with Pixel, and if any of the magazine comics are true, they're not that far away from any place that we haven't explored, but the show's most likely going to say they've explored other parts of the merged lands to calculate a map, which would definitely come in handy for Season 4, right? Well, yes, but I don't think they would have explored every region. For example, I wouldn't think they have explored every realm, because I think portal gates would have been open by now. And let's say, metaphorically, Season 3 Part 2 took place in a week. Don't think they explored much. Anyhow, I do think Zane would have to recalculate steps back, which is the smartest ninja thing, to get him and Pixel back, at least to the monastery or known location. And this could be a great way to get, obviously, them back. Now, Zane's obviously going to notice things not working out properly, not just through his elemental powers, because if he does find another monastery gate, he's going to find it a bit sus. Gotta think clearer, not harder. And it just makes sense. But we need to talk about the elemental powers not working, because that's a thing that's very important. If elemental powers not working, this is a risk. And I think this is something that will be throughout all of Season 4, because remember, Season 3 Part 2 did mention that ninjas are more than their powers, same in Season 2 Part 2. So we gotta be clear about this. What truly identifies the ninja, the elemental powers. That's what the city knows them as, the heroes with the elements. But there are others. There's Tox, Camille, there's Master Speed, the Master Form. These powers all correlate and exist, but now with them glitching out, this is going to make the world harder to go through. Could you imagine if Mr. Pale's just walking around naked? Yeah, he'd get so much trouble and end up straight in prison for being naked. Well, we can't have that. So, what is going to happen? Most likely enough, they have mentioned Tease Skylar to be an important part, especially with her whole Amber Spiral story a couple of years ago, sort of keying into Season 4. I'm going to bet you any money that Season 4 is going to have to deal with these Elemental Masters in some way, shape, or form. Well, we're getting Euphrasia in Part 1, I guess, or Part 2, but that's going to sort of lead into something. Euphrasia's going to obviously see it. Now, other Elemental Masters are going to too. Skylar is going to have to be the key one of them, and they're all going to end up at the monastery. Lord Raz could take over the monastery next. We don't really know what Lord Raz's true crisis is or plan is with the Elemental Masters, or he doesn't even know that the Elemental Masters are glitching powers, so he might not even care. If he finds this out, though, this can cause danger for the ninja, as now he can take full advantage to his master's plan, and his master's plan can pretty much happen with no one really stopping him, if that makes sense. I'm very interested to see, but there are so much other things that I think Season 4 is going to want to adapt with its Legacy 2026 edition. Another character I can definitely see returning is Harumi. Now, the observation is quite known. If a character is in a city set that has a minifig that is prevalent or really wanted, they're going to return. Take, for example, the Camille minifig. In the Dragon's Rising set, we were wanting to see her back in minifig form. We want that minifig, and they have to show it off in sets. I'm hoping that we do get eventually a Harumi look at in Season 4 or 5 of Dragon's Rising, because I feel like Harumi's story can be added here. It'd be great paralleling the storylines of Roz and Harumi, and making Harumi a decent adversary. Doc Wyatt actually wrote majority of the best crystallized Harumi parts, so it'd be pretty nice to have Doc Wyatt adapt to it. So, quite in final, and this is where I want to really wrap things up, is Season 4 Part 1 has a lot of expectations. What I like to see is simple. I want to see Season 4 at least start off taking place for Cole straight after the events of him waking up. Running to find everyone, seeing that there's no one here, the portal gates are not working. He gets distressed, takes a calm breather, speaks to whoever's next to him, like Aaron's parents, may say, Cole, what would your Master Wu do? And he has this brief discussion. This scene can only need to go for 3 minutes tops. And Cole's like, we gotta find a way. Paralleling the same thing Lloyd says in Season 3 Part 2's ending. It starts off like that, and it all starts off a week or two later, where Cole is either in Imperium or in the Cloud Kingdom, finding help so the ninja can all unite once again. But it will be a bigger and deeper cut. Cole will obviously be understanding that his powers aren't working. I'm thinking that Cole is going to be the main character for the season, and this is how I can definitely tie it in. Cole can definitely get his rematch with Roz in Season 4 Part 2, but I need Season 4 Part 1 to heavily use Cole a lot more than they should. It'd be nice to see this, but it is really a toss-up on who sort of character is on the box will get a bit of attention. I'm going to say it's more Cole or Jay. I'm going to say my biggest bet's on Jay throughout the whole year, but it has to be out of Cole or Jay in the first part. That's just how I see it. That's how I feel like it's going to have to be. But in short, yeah, I'm looking forward to Season 4 Part 1. Yeah. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out, guys.